Hey guys, Cole the Car Man here. So today I'm gonna bring a little bit of a bittersweet kind of video. I'll just walk around the car first. Just as she sits right now, don't mind me walking in the reflection. Well, enough of the walk around. I'll go ahead and release the news. We are selling the Blazer. Probably something along the names of the title. I guess we can just go down memory lane if everyone cares to listen. So sit back and relax and let's go ahead and get on into it. All right, so without me dragging my feet any longer, don't mind my shadow. It's probably going to be in the video because I've tried to find just the perfect spot to kind of get some trees and some water in the background. And sorry for the wind noise. I know it's probably going to be this whole video, but let me let that wind noise stop. But here is the Blazer, and today's video is surrounding. We are unfortunately, well, I guess you could say unfortunately, it's more of a bittersweet moment, but we are going to be selling the vehicle and moving on to bigger and better things to come along in the time being. So my family bought this new, my grandparents bought this new back in 2003. It was a brand new 2004 model year. That guy probably thinks I'm crazy for filming this. He's probably like, damn, he's filming a junker. No, not a junker to me. She's special in my own heart. But my grandparents bought this new back in 2004. 2003. It was brand new 2004. They changed a couple things along the way. It was locally bought at Anderson Chevrolet down in, I believe, Baltimore, or something along. It's down close to where we live. Bought it brand new. It only had, I believe, like 3 or 4 miles on it. The Carfax says it. I just don't know off the top of my head. But it was our family vehicle. My grandparents' family vehicle. And up until like 2013, they had this to be a daily driver, and we would take this car everywhere. I mean, this car has been 214,500 miles on it. It's been everywhere, all around Maryland and PA and down on the Eastern Shore. You name it, it's probably been there within the Eastern Shore range. Now, with that being said, it has had a bit of a rough life, as you can tell by the rust. Salt, driving it in the salt, like I said, daily driver. So it was driven in the salt. It was used in the snow. It was used for everything, towing our boat, going on Assateague Island, and a whole bunch of other stuff. It's really just, I'm filming this video as like a remembrance and kind of go down memory lane with us, if anyone cares to watch this. But hey, I'm just throwing the video out. But like I said, 2013, it got put to, just my grandfather only driving it to work and back, so it still was getting the miles and everything, as often as it used to, and towing the boat. This thing towed the boat from, 2003 all the way up until like 2018. So it's definitely been worked, but, it was well maintained, and anything that had to be done to it was done. Nothing ever went, we're driving the car with no heat. No, it was, if there was no heat, which the heater core was replaced, and I mean, I'll go on to in the rest of the video of everything that, the stack of papers is like that. But you name it, it's probably been replaced. The heater core, the whole AC in the car, wheel bearings, radiators, intake gaskets, it's been done. So it was, well maintained, and hence why it lasted this well. And the body is pretty good. It's not terrible, but it's not perfect, as you can tell by the little rust. Back here is just bubbling. But I mean, like if you, now mind you, this was daily driven for, you know, its whole life. So it's gonna have dings, dents, scrapes, everything like that, but, and rust. But I mean, well maintained. It wasn't never really beat on and everything like that. So, like I said, it was cared for. It wasn't never, you know. Camera stopped recording. Anyway, enough of that. So, you know, just a trip down memory lane, and, you know, I've done little things to it, like change the lights, paint the grill, color matched it, because it would be chrome on the chrome bar, but it would have a body colored grill with a chrome guard, or chrome bar. It's had brand new, front bumper, because the bumper was rusting out. Brand new, well, the hood's been repainted, the fender's been replaced on the driver's side. This one needs to be replaced, and, you know, just some regular body work if you want this car to be meticulous. But like I said, I'm not going to be the one to do it, because I'm getting another car, and as much as I love this car and as much as this car means to me emotionally, and, you know, still everybody's like, oh, it's just a 2004 Blazer, and, you know, it don't mean nothing. It means something to me because it's been in the family since new, and I grew up in this car. There's pictures and everything of me riding in the back seat, going certain places like to Assateague Island, and, you know, towing the boat down to Ocean City for trips. And just some other, you know, you name it, this car has probably been there within the Eastern Shore, or within the East Coast, you know, PA, down all the way to, you know, Virginia and stuff like that. 214,000 miles, you can go a lot of places, and this car was the car to take, you know. But with that being said, like I said, maintenance and everything was done to the car. But car means a lot to me, and unfortunately I am going to have to sell it for certain reasons. You know, it's not perfect, it needs some work, and maybe for the next owner, if somebody gets this car and they think, okay, it's got potential and I can put the money into it, it'd be perfect for somebody. You know, it needs some rust repair, some body work if you want it to be perfect, and, you know, just some little things. It's nothing too major. The only major thing, like mechanical wise, is something I did because I cheaped out, and I should have done it the right way the first time. And the only other thing is the rear end. It probably needs to be rebuilt, not per se replaced, but rebuilt. It has some play in it, and the locker, since this one was optioned with the G80 locker, it probably needs to be just rebuilt, have fresh lockers, new pinion seal, new gaskets, and just an overhaul completely. And the transmission is original, engine's original. You know, knock on wood, nothing has gone wrong with that in any sense. But it's a good looking car. Somebody can throw, you know, a couple grand into it. I bet you if you threw 3,000 to 4,000 into it, it'd be a pretty damn good car. With that being said, I am not, unfortunately, even though this car means a heck of a lot to me, it's time for, you know, it to go on to somebody else, and have to be somebody else's project. So with that being said, we'll just take a gander inside. Now, mind you, it is dirty. I mean, it's not dirty. It's dirty because of the stuff I have, but I did armor all the dash and get everything, you know, spick and span, as good as it can get. But I mean, the headliner's perfect. The seats are pretty good. They just need to be cleaned, and that side, it's just starting to have a few threads fall off, but you know, door panels and everything still in great shape. That is not factory, that's off of a Bravada. I thought that looked pretty good, but it'd look even better if I did the leather interior swap like I said I was back a couple years, but times have changed and I've changed some plans. Yeah, it's GM, that's why it makes that noise. But, you know, like I was saying, this is a mess, I know. It's because I'm going to put on the old lights before I sell it. But still, for being a 2004, it's in pretty good shape. And like I said, there's pictures of me riding in this car. So it is very sentimental in that certain way. But time for somebody else to pick up this project. And now onto the back. Obviously, you guys can tell they didn't come from the factory like that. This is off of a 96 Bravada. I have a video on that. Not really in depth, but if you have a clamshell Blazer and you're watching this, you can swap that glass and have that that spoiler. They only came on 1996 Bravadas. Everybody's looking at me like I'm crazy. But you can do that, and it looks pretty darn good. Like if you look at it from the side, it adds a little spoiler, and it completes the look. It doesn't look, because factory just had like a bump and it was just a third brake light. This looks much better. And I was going to put on a Envoy spoiler, but never got really around to that because it was more modification than I needed. So, or than I could do at the time. So I just went ahead and just did that. Looks pretty good though. Threw on these factory body molded mud flaps. Got them from a junkyard just for, to try and keep some of the salt off. Like I said, the whole front end has been repainted. If you see under there, it does have a aluminum skid plate, but the car's not perfect. If you throw the money into it, it would be really nice. But you all will see what I have planned next for the new vehicle upcoming soon. Anyway, let me quit rambling and get on to some more details. And might as well just show this, just for, my own memories, and I'll probably look back at this video in a couple of years and be like, yeah, this was the old Blazer. But yeah, 214,000. Aftermarket radio, never should have done that. That's another story for another time. But yeah, it's in pretty good shape, and like I said, it's just starting to de-thread right there. 214,000 miles of, 18 years of sliding, and held up pretty well. But like I said, it was well maintained. People give these cars a bad rep, and they say, oh, these things are junkers, and they're not good cars. They're great cars as long as you take care of them. That's all I have to say with that. And like I said, there's all the paperwork. I'm gonna give this with the car unless they don't want that, but there's all the paperwork. That's just window washer fluid, but like I said, well maintained right there. But yeah, just, it's a good car. It just, when people bought these brand new, they only kept them for a couple years, and people buy them used, and they probably weren't well maintained, and that's how they got a bad rep. Sure, the transmissions were faulty. They're not the best designs, but if you took care of it, well maintained it, it was a good car. And as I'm sure everybody knows what's under the hood of these S10s of this era, and Blazers and Bravadas and Jimmys and you name it, the smaller chassis of the Chevy trucks. A 4.3 with a 4L60E transmission. I know that looks bad, but it just was never painted. That is fairly new. It's only like 5 years old. But well maintained. Whatever, like I said, whatever had to be done, it was done. It wasn't like pushed off and everything like that. But old tried and true 4.3, not the best looking, but it runs. That's what your 4.3 looks like after 214,000 miles and a little bit of a rough life. But like I said, this is the old Blazer, as my family would, as I call it, the old Blazer. But she's pretty nice for what it is. But I know I sound like a broken record, and I just keep repeating. I really didn't write a script with this. I usually sometimes do with videos, like so I can go down the list and talk about everything. But here she is. I'm pretty much drawing blanks. I think what I'll talk about next is everything that needs to be done to it and reasons why I'm selling it. So, reasons why I'm selling it. It's gonna need tires. It's gonna need an alignment to fix why the tires are wearing out quicker. It's only on the front. Like, as you can see, obviously they're cracking, and that's a telltale sign you need tires. But they're kind of wearing off to this side, on just this side, not on the other side, but you can rotate them and get them a little longer, but they're cracked. So that's a safety problem at that point. But it's gonna need tires just for safety. It's gonna need shocks all the way around. Even though the rear shocks have been replaced, it rides like a couch, and it should be a little bit more stiffer because it's a truck. And it's probably could use, like I said, the rear end, it needs to be rebuilt. That's like it has to be done, probably soon, as long as somebody gets this and wants to take care of it and doesn't beat it up. But like I said, I really can't control that because it's not going to be my car anymore. So, let's see, tires, shocks, rear end rebuilt, and just some preventative maintenance things. Like what I've done to it. I've replaced a whole bunch of stuff to try and keep it, to be tip-top shape. Oh, and it will need a fuel pump probably, simply because of the fuel gauge. Whenever it gets below half a tank, it starts to, do all that and read funky, and, it doesn't need a fuel pump because it works, but if you're just going to replace the sensor, you're already in the fuel tank, and that's one heck of a job. You might as well just do the whole fuel pump. Hence preventative maintenance. But yeah, other than that, I really can't think of too much. And like I said, body work, because if I were to keep this car, now hear me out, I don't want to be driving around and looking all rusty and not the best. Like I can't do that, for many reasons. One, because I wouldn't like how it looked. It'd look like a piece of junk, and it's not. Granted, it needs work, but it's not really a junk. I would get the rust fixed, the fender replaced. I would do a cowl hood just to make it look a little bit better. The factory hood is great, but I'm just saying, from aspects wise, I would do that. And paint the roof rack. Even though it's been painted, it just needs to be repainted. And body work and tires, maybe go up a size in tires, because these are a little bit small, but they're the factory size. And just, fix everything that had to be fixed. But I can't do that because where I'm currently living, you can only have 2 cars per house. It's a townhome, so it has to be, my mother has a car, and then it's just mine. You can only have 2 cars, you can't have 3, and I can't afford, I can't afford, and plus I really don't want to afford, to store this, and I only drive it every now and then. But, it's just stuff like that. It's personal stuff, and the car needs work, and with a new car, I can't dump $3,000 into it right now. It probably needs $3,000 or $4,000 into it, because I can't do the work myself. 1, because I'm busy, and 2, because, I second guess myself, and I don't really trust myself to do a fuel pump. That's a pretty extensive job, and I really don't have the tools or the space to do that. So, that's an added reason to why I'm selling it. But yeah, it just needs, some basic work to it. That's all. Not trying to make this video go on long, just a trip down memory lane. Family's been wow, it's been a long day. The car's been in the family for a long time, and really means a lot to me, and it's kind of sad to see it go, honest. Because like I said, I rode home. There's a picture of me when I was a newborn riding in the back of this, and I believe it was on the ride home from the hospital. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure it was. So, I rode home in the back seat of this car from the hospital when I was born. The car's brand new back then. It only probably had like 5,000 miles on it. But, it's more sentimental to me than, a regular car, because it's been in the family since new, and my grandparents bought this new, and I've grown up with it. The car has grown up. We've grown up together, if you want to think about it that way. I know it sounds dumb, but that's how it is in my eyes, Not saying this in any certain way. Yeah, I know I talk with my hands, as you can tell. But it just needs some work done to it, and it'll be a good runner for somebody. Like I said, it's for family. It's kind of, this video is for kind of family and for me and for everybody on YouTube that, has been around the Blazer for a while. I got into cars. This was a car that I got into with cars, and I learned, if you don't put the headlight in the right way, it won't look right. Or if you have the bulb misaligned, it's cosmetic things. I know I've done some mechanical stuff to it, and I've had videos to watch, but just as a learning aspect, I did cosmetic stuff. Like if you polish the paint, you don't want to do it in the sun or else it'll leave etch marks. And this car, I learned from that. It was a learning experience. The car's not perfect. Fortunately I got out the etching marks from me doing that. I was pretty scared for for my my family to see it and they'd be like, oh my god, you ruined the paint. But fortunately I was able to get it off. It's kind of a story I never told. But it just, to me, it's a car that I grew up in. That's why I'm really making this video. If it was just, a plain Jane car, I probably wouldn't make one. But the car grew up. Me and the car grew up together. Like I said, I know I'm repeating. Like I said, I don't have a script for the video, but this is all natural. This is just 100% filming, and just, I'll probably edit the video and chop it so it's not as bad. But yeah, so here's the car, and I think that's pretty much about it. Don't want to have this too long. I know some people only watch it for like 2 minutes and then, okay, click off. But I just wanted to have this all documented on video of what it looked like and everything before I sold it. And, as kind of a keepsake and tribute. But that's the old Blazer. Now, on to some fun stuff. I plan, today is Monday the 20th, March 20th, 2023. I do plan on selling the car Monday, March the 27th, I believe is the date, that it's going to be sold. I do plan on getting a new car on the 25th as long as everything goes to plan. But I will be definitely making a video on that because it's a special car to me also. Grew up with that car as well, and it's in really good shape. It's not the same car because the original car got totaled, but sorry, I'm just looking to see if anybody's coming. I'm talking to a phone, filming a car. Can only imagine what's going through their head. But it's a special car to me, this new car, and it will definitely be on more future videos to come on the channel. So without further ado, I'm going to quit rambling, and we'll just, I guess I could just film the inside, I guess, again, and it's starting up and all that kind of fun stuff. But this is the car, and this is how it sits right now. Like I said, I'm going to be swapping out the lights. I'm selling them to a friend. And I do want to mention this. The car that I am getting, I'm not going to drive it in the winter because it's in really good shape. It has no rust, and those cars like to rust out. So I will be getting another vehicle for the winter, and my plans are, if I can find a good condition one, better condition than this, and it runs and drives and does everything it needs to correctly without a lot of work having to be done. Planning on getting another Blazer, but a two-door 02. Pretty much what that is, if you don't know, it's a two-door Blazer. So imagine just the two doors, and it has a cut in the back window, and this window is kind of pushed in. It's smaller. It's a little bit wider, has fender flares, factory 30-inch, 31-inch tires, and it's more of an off-roader. So I would like to find one of them in good shape and modify it to be like a factory original car, with per the era of when that car was out. Obviously with this one I kind of did like some modern things, like these obviously did not have nicer headlights. They had amber lower turn signals, but like I said, I'm going to be taking them off of the car. I know I'm jumping all over the place, but taking them off, and some other little things. But you know, I do plan on getting another Blazer is what I'm trying to get at, as long as I can find the right one and it's in good shape. So, you know, Blazers will always have a special place in my heart. All right, I'll go ahead and film the startup. Sorry, my finger was in the way. But flick of a key, everything works how it should. And, you know, it's a good runner. Like I said, 214,000 miles. The radio I never should have had installed. And as you all could probably hear that like thump when I started it, the shop that I took it to, I don't mean to ramble, but the shop that I took it to did not install it the best way. They hooked it up directly to the alternator to supply power, so whenever the alternator gets keyed on, it'll turn the radio and everything on and like that. Probably not the best thing to do, and that's another reason why I'm selling it, is because I don't know what it could do to it long term. Because when I had it installed, it like blew the fuse for the gauges, and I had to tell the shop, I'm like, hey, whatever you guys did, it screwed up the whole, you know, gauges, and the running lights weren't on, and a big ordeal. Another day for that story. But besides the point, you know, everything works now how it should. Everything works perfectly fine, aside from a few little things. But you know, it's in really good shape. You see a lot of these with the headliner sagging, and it still has the original, obviously, the overhead display, and I swapped out all the bulbs inside for LEDs, and there's videos on me swapping the exterior bulbs. That's a good mod if you have an older car. I would recommend it. Here's a video on that. It does have two lights on. The ABS light is for the module, and the airbag light is for the impact sensor. Not really a big deal. It's just because it, you know, you driving down the road, you hit a bump, it'll turn off and everything. So, you know, it's a ground. And the ABS, I felt the pedal buzz, so I think it's a broken like little connector in there. So, you know, you throw a module into it. What I'm trying to get is, if you throw the money into the car, it'll be a good car for somebody. Unfortunately not for me. It's time to let her go. And yeah, so I'm going to stop rambling because the video is probably really long and it's getting late. So as you can hear, you know, it's good running. It doesn't have no, you know, lift or tick. I mean, granted it does, like you can hear, but it's nothing bad at all. It probably needs a new muffler because you can hear a leak. You might be able to hear that in video. But like I said, it's a really good running car and everything, but just needs some work. So with that being said, stay tuned for the next video to come on the channel. It'll be probably about the new car. And everyone wish the old Blazer goodbye. She's been in the family since brand new, and she's special in her own ways, and aside from some bodywork stuff, and you know, it's a good running car, and it just needs some work done to it for the next person who buys it. Hopefully they take good care of it as our family did. And I think that's a pretty good place to wrap the video up. I think I might throw in a couple extra clips of the day that I'm getting rid of it. I'm going to throw on the old headlights, like I said, and do some other things to it. So yeah, everyone say farewell to the Blazer, and wishing her the best luck on the new owner. So like I said, I'm going to throw in some videos, but I am going to sign off. So thank you all for watching, and thank you all for being supportive of the channel. I know we are close to 1,000 subscribers. At the point of filming, I believe we're 10 subscribers away from 1,000. Severely thank everyone for that. I never really thought that this channel would have got that much traction. Now granted, it's only 1,000, but that means a lot to me. So I know I did take a break from videos, but thank you all again for watching, and thank you all for getting me to 1,000 subscribers and everything like that. And stay tuned for the new videos to come, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace. Alright, well, we are pulling out onto the road to go get and sell this. Gotta accelerate because this is a highway 65. But definitely a little upsetting nonetheless. But we're taking her to the dealership to go sell her. I am going to top it off on gas and everything, but I just figured I'd shoot a little video of driving it there and just it driving. So, but here we are. We're going to the dealership, and I'll catch up with you guys later.